Welcome to Greenforest National Park, a hidden gem nestled deep within the wilderness. Brace yourself for a breathtaking escape as you explore the diverse landscapes that define this natural wonder. From majestic mountains to the ancient serenity of old-growth forests, Greenforest National Park offers a tapestry of untamed beauty and rare wildlife. As stewards of the lands, we are committed to animal conservation. In addition to elk, bison, and brown bears, the park is home to the critically endangered alpine crested wolf. If you are lucky enough to see one of these magnificent creatures, remember to appreciate them from afar. Very, very afar. Embark on an unforgettable journey along the park's captivating backpacking trails. Go kayaking and end your day with a meal in the town of Elk Wing, where warm hospitality and delicious local cuisine await you. Unleash your spirit of adventure. Park is 7:05 a.m. to 9 p.m. National Park Service denies liability for injuries, fatal animal encounters, or unexplained disappearances. Do not provoke the wildlife.
Hello, and welcome to our actual play of Bitemarks, a collaborative role-playing game following the adventures of a werewolf pack as they try to solve a dark mystery. My name is Al, my pronouns are they, them, and I will be serving as the Master of Ceremonies for tonight's episode. First order of business, Lunar Pulse is a supernatural thriller. The tone is serious but tropey and rated R for horror movie-style gore. If that's not for you, please navigate to the Neon Lights YouTube channel where you can enjoy a library of less lycanthropic actual plays. For this game, we have safety tools in place. It can get kind of intense. This game actually has sort of a light PvP element that is well protected and has good boundaries to it. But if you ever see players or characters snapping at each other or arguing, know that we're all friends here and we're using our acting. But just in case anybody needs to parse things at the end, we do have some aftercare at the end of the session. So, time for introductions. In the order that I call you, please introduce yourself and who you're playing tonight, including your character's role in the pack. And I'd like to start with Kellen.
Hello, my name is Kellen. I am also known as Sonar Fade online. My pronouns are she, they, and I will be playing the pack's howl, or spiritual sort of person. Hollis, also she, they. And yeah, Hollis is your friendly neighborhood cannibal. Just to bring that back, because I love it.
Amazing. It's not what it sounds like. Go back and watch our series on YouTube and you'll know what they mean. Beautiful. All right, moving along. Next, Foxy, please.
Good evening, friends. It's Young Foxy, aka Big Foxy, also known as your favorite Fox Philly's finest. Happy to reprise my role as Yesaya, Great Pelt of the Greenforest Mountain Pack. I'm Boomer Maxing, friends. No other way to put it. I'm in my granddad era, honestly. There's nothing else I can really say right now. And I'm having a great fucking time with it. I'm looking forward to delving into ancient lore and arguing with my girlfriend later. It's gonna be fantastic.
For her. All right, moving on. Miss Rainey. Hello.
Hello, my name is Rainey, also known as Rainey Keys. You can find me anywhere on the internet as that. My pronouns are she, they, and tonight I will be playing Malia O'Connor. She, her, for her pronouns, and I am the Pax Prodigal. Last where we left off was somewhere with Molly, and where we're going is gonna be somewhere else.
So insightful.
I am a problem. I am a
True
problem.
No part of that statement was incorrect, so you know.
Yeah.
It's you.
Fully
Hi.
true.
You're the problem, it's you.
Speaking of problems, hello, Mikey.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mikey Fatum, and I am playing Cal. Give me some sugar. I am your daddy.
I can tell tonight's going to be interesting.
Oh my god.
Listen, we were too serious last episode. This is the unhinged comedy hour.
I'm getting more and more comfortable with you people, and this is the unfortunate consequence.
It's a great consequence.
I love it. Thank you for this consequence.
Indeed.
Beautiful. Mikey, did you introduce yourself or did I hallucinate that you did?
I did introduce myself, yeah.
Okay,
Did you
great.
introduce
Did you
Calvin?
introduce Cal?
Oh, Cal is yeah, I'm playing the alpha. His name is Cal. He's great. Everyone loves him.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty true. Beautiful. Anything else you want to add, or shall I hop into our summary?
He's overcoming a crisis of confidence, and it's going to be fun to see where that all goes.
Call back to episode 1 of Your Shield Alpha.
Uh-huh.
Oh boy, brutal. All right, so last session our pack took some time to take stock of everything that has happened, from encountering a supernatural being to learning that once in a blue moon, a cosmic body falls from the sky and lands in the Spine Mountain Lake, bringing with it strange phenomena. What the fuck? I mean, what the heck? And what does this all mean? And what will our pack do next? These are questions that we might answer if we feel like it. So I'm going to go ahead. We left off last. Everyone had touched base about a plan to sort of send a couple of people forward to go and investigate the Spine Mountain community, the pack community, see what's up, scout it out, and then see if there's any resources that might be useful going forward to figure out what's happening. I'd like to cut to the action on this. So Alpha, we're going to do State of the Pack in a second. Alpha, who are you sending with them?
I think I would actually. I don't remember what I said last time, but I honestly feel like I would send Hollis, because I feel like Hollis is the one who could talk good to people out of all of us.
Okay, Hollis.
And also, you
have
might
been
have some
assigned
supernatural, expertise.
So you assign Hollis to come, and then Miriam comes to you and leans. She's very small, but she sort of leans up and she says, she jerks her chin over at where Molly is standing, maybe looking thoughtful, doing whatever a wild Molly do, and says, "I want her."
Why?
She'll be useful.
You want her?
Hollis is sweet, but if there's a fight. Besides, I want to teach her some things.
That is the most terrifying thing you've ever said in my presence. And you've said some scary ass shit. All right. Give me a quick pitch. Sell me on the benefits of bringing Molly along, and if I agree, you'll get her.
Bring her or not. She shoves you in the chest hard. Say yes or no. I'm not going to sit here and ply you.
I think we lost you there for that entire sentence, unfortunately.
She shoved me in the chest.
She
Not
says,
that much.
I'm not hearing
she
you.
shoves you and says, "Oh,
Hold on, that might be a me problem.
can you hear me now? Can everybody else?"
Did I fix it? Hold on. No, it's a me problem. Hold on, I'll fix. Stand by.
We're doing.
Let me know if you need me.
Welcome, people.
I fixed it. It's my fault. I fixed it. Everything's fine. I fixed it. I'm so sorry. Just try that one more time.
Oh,
You're fine, Foxy.
sure.
Don't worry.
Can you hear me okay now? I'm
Yep.
in? Okay. So what happens, poor Mikey Cal is she shoves you with a lot of strength in the small arms and says, "Send her or not, will not fly you. It's your business. I want her, send her, or do not."
How the hell does Yaz deal with this? All right. Fine. Take Molly and Hollis, and and Yaz and I will stay back as backup.
Molly, Miriam walks up to you and looks at you and says, "Will you come?" She doesn't boss you, but she asks you.
Molly, having watched this interaction with Miriam before, with Calvin, or Cal and Miriam, just sort of, like, nods. I mean, I guess, yeah, you asked for me, so.
Good.
Yours?
And she will look at you again, Cal. Her face is calmed now that she got what she wants, and she gives you a respectful nod. All of the fervor of a second ago has sort of softened. She definitely has a hot temper, but it fades quickly. So she kind of like does that and says, we'll go ahead and scout out the area. One of these two will howl if you're needed. And then she pauses and looks at you, Yesaya, and she has a little gleam in her eye. It's a long look, and it looks like she wants to say something, but pettiness wins out, and she turns around instead, ready to go.
Yeah, I don't think he verbally responds for a while, just kind of looks after her for a second.
Yeah.
Hey, Grandpa.
All right.
Hmm?
In trying to figure out, like, all of this stuff, one other thing that's been bugging me is Mia's locket's been missing. Do you remember what was in Mia's locket? If you don't, Cal might. You two collaborate on that. Maybe that might have some other vein for you to inquire about with your people's records of the shit show in the lake.
I will see to it.
Thanks.
Excellent. So, DM question. Yesaya and our alpha. Ooh, state of the pack. Let's do it before we forget.
Nope.
Could you explain to us what state of the pack is?
So State of the Pack is a roll I make at the beginning of every game. It determines basically whether people can mess with me or not. In the short version. It means that, well, I'll tell you what it means when I roll it. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Boy. So that's a 6. So in that situation, that means the MC may have a packmate break a tradition or disobey my orders.
I love it when
great.
that happens.
Great.
Okay.
Very, very good episode for that to happen. Nothing can go wrong.
Nope. Nothing.
Why does it
Okay.
happen on the Chaos
I don't do it every
episodes?
time.
Because the universe is trying to tell us something.
Mm-hmm.
Be
All
chaotic.
right. Thank you. Thank you, Becky.
You are welcome.
Beautiful. So, for our gentlemen, are you going to kind of... What's Yesaya going to do? What was the plan here? I want to touch base with what you two decided.
I believe I was given permission to go off on my own to perhaps inquire with whatever enclaves of my people or their records I can find that might give me some insight as to what the hell we're dealing with here.
Okay. Alpha, he has your blessing on this?
He does.
All right.
We
Can you give us
discussed
just
it.
a
I thought it
clip
was
of a
good.
moment? When you see him off, may the camera have just a scene briefly between the two of you? It's really well animated. All the details are super good.
Oh, I absolutely think the impetus for this scene is certainly after Miriam and Co. stomp off. Yesaya is still looking after her for a second as Calvin kind of approaches.
Oh,
and
yes!
And without turning around, he just looks, but like kind of looks off and just says, "She is angry with me."
How do you tell? How do you tell?
It's the eyebrows.
Huh. They look the same to... You know what? You know better than I do. Yep. She's mad at you. Well, I would give you advice, but and Cal's gonna clap Yaz on the shoulder. You've kind of been doing this with her longer than I've been alive, so you'll work that out. You got this, buddy.
In all my centuries, I have hunted many a creature, terrifying and powerful, all laid low against my claw and fang. That woman terrifies me.
You look over and you see that Cal has pulled out a little notebook and is writing that down. Every time you say something fucking profound, I'm gonna write it down because it's gonna come in handy later at some point. I know it is.
Profound. She terrifies me. Writing it down.
It's like the most romantic thing anyone's ever said. Somehow.
It's great.
All right. So, where are you headed?
Deeper into the woods, further afield. It will take me some time to travel, but there are enclaves of my people, records I can encounter. I may not find much, but whatever understands this is older, much older than I.
All right. Is there anything I can do to support?
Keep the pact intact for now. Remain in cover and shadow them. Should they need you, they will call for you. I will not be long.
Is there anything I can do to help that I didn't already know?
I suppose not in this case.
Cal laughs and claps you on the shoulder. Again.
He smiles a bit and I suppose not. But that makes it easy for you, yes?
So far, so good. Let's hope. Best of luck, my friend.
Yusea draws a bit of the remaining sort of like dust he's had covering him from that creature and swipes a single 2-finger gesture at the type of Cal's forehead. But with the wind at your back, friend.
Thank you. And you as well.
It's a bumper shoot. All right. Okay. We're gonna follow Yusea here, actually. So rather than doing a smash cut to the others, Yusea, there's a cool transition, like some awesome foliage. Do you transform? What form are you gonna be in for your initial leg of this journey?
I travel faster in wolf form, so we'll go with that.
Okay. You know these woods very well, and there is a place in the woods that is calling to you right now that feels important. What is it?
I think it's an old hollow, small copse of trees separated from itself and given sort of space away from a lot of the other sort of trees around it. But I think deep in the middle of this dense patch of forest is sort of a small hollowing out of, solid ground, old moss and tall grass that has spent long without human care or attention from it. It's an old place, the kind of place you, when you're on a walk, just sort of stop for a minute and think about how long nature has had its hand on this place.
Yeah. You go there, and you feel the power under your paws as you step into this holler that you know well, this place that is magical. How do you know that you are acknowledged?
I think Yusea has been to plenty of places of power before, places where there is a sort of essence beyond that pushes things like this forward, and I think in this moment, as he steps forward, he places a single paw forward, and a gesture he does not give to many things. He bears his snout low as a very sort of incredibly strong gesture of deference, and I think he sort of lets that wind gently flow through his fur for a moment, and that is his recognition that the sort of spirits of this place have allowed him forward and allowed him passage to step forward, which he thanks them with a sort of small nod.
Yes, this is all true. You smell the clean scent of dry grass. You smell the familiar scent of people you once knew surrounding you warmly. You smell tanning leather. Maybe not the best smell, but familiar. And you smell soft smoke, familiar soft smoke and burned herbs. And you are connecting to your past. You're connecting to who you are, and a great sense of peace fills your heart as you sit in this place. It's very grounding for you. And go ahead, and we're going to add one to the pack pool. using your Lorekeeper ability, and I'd like you to add 1 to your wolf path.
I love when I add 1 to my wolf path.
I love when you add to the pool. I was checking out your abilities. I was like, literally, this is perfect.
Yeah, no, I agree. I love the idea of Lorekeeper here. No question.
Yeah, you just told us what was going on, and yeah, so you're there. Oftentimes, when it comes to this kind of connection and seeking knowledge of this ancient kind, the answers are not as straightforward. Well, they're not straightforward ever. A lot of it comes through symbology, a lot of it comes through intuition, and a lot of it comes from very small signals from nature around you. And as you sit there, you hear the soft pitter-patter as rain begins to fall, just a light drizzle around you. It's a very gentle rain, but it is water.
I think he fully sits himself sort of down, on all fours, just closing his eyes and letting that feeling of rain batter against his muzzle and snout, and just for a time, I think he hasn't done in a very long time, just sort of quietly absorbing this feeling of genuine peace. There is no noise even in his head for the first time in a very long time.
Beautiful. Thank you for that gorgeous scene. That was lovely. Are you okay if we do a pan to the others for a little bit?
No, please, absolutely.
Gorgeous. Cal, we're going to get to you, but we're going to set the scene with the others because you're in a very important role, but yours is going to be maybe a reactive role. So
Yep.
I'm going to go to Hollis and Molly and Miriam. So
hit the drama music.
Oh, hell yeah. So Miriam leads you through a winding series of dirt roads, like all-terrain vehicle roads. It's dusty, the rain is beginning. It's light, it's like that really... It's rain that you wouldn't need an umbrella in, but it's still there. And it catches on the dust on your faces and begins to wash it away. Causing these rather glamorous streaks of sparkly dust as you walk. And as you walk, Miriam, you can tell she's very attuned to the both of you. She's not actually looking at you, but you can sense that it's almost like whenever you're not looking at her, you feel her eyes flicking between the both of you. But whenever you look up at her, she's just determinedly looking forward. She's in human form. Pretty stubbornly. She seems to have somehow acquired some shredded up old garments of some sort, and is stomping her way up this winding path up onto this, I guess, hill. Not quite a mountain, but... So what form are you two in?
Human for me.
Okay.
Yeah. Human's easier. We're all traveling human.
Sure. You, without incident, arrive to the top of this steep hike, and you see before you a community. It's primarily mobile homes. There are some trailers. They don't look mobile. They are clearly well settled in place. These are homes in this area. And there are a couple of, permanent buildings as well, mostly in sort of a cabin-like style, but unlike the decadent and privileged lodge, these people are a lot poorer. This is a lot more humble to the extravagant lodge that you all live in. And you come upon this area, you see there's a broken down truck nearby, there's a couple of heavy duty ATVs that look like they get a lot of use. There's a stray cat wanders by and looks at all of you and then trots away. And yeah, it's a community, but different. And Miriam pauses and looks around and frowns because it's really quiet. stay close, she suggests to the two of you, and she will briskly walk to one of the mobile homes. And she will go around the back of it and procure a key from some poorly hidden spot, and will come back and unlock it and open it up and stick her head in. Huh. Not here. But it doesn't
Who's
smell
normal?
bad.
Who's normally here?
Otis, usually.
Otis?
Otis.
Otis's position in the pack.
Otis was prodigal. He came in and out. Let's go check another. And she actually, I think, leaves the door open and heads out to cross away and to another, this time to an RV. And this one she just jimmies open completely. Looks like somebody didn't even really like it. And she sticks her head in again. And then sits back out again. Leilani's not here either. Those are the two that I get along with, kind of.
Explains some of the quietness, I guess, if they're all somewhere else.
It's usually very busy, though.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know much. Excuse me. I don't know much about this pack aside from a few brief encounters, but it shouldn't be this quiet. I would.
No, they're loud. Always playing music and, you know, it's not terrible. I don't smell Ezra. And I never thought I'd say this, but I wish I did. He would know what's going on. So what do you two notice, both of you individually, that's unusual about this tableau? What catches your eye for whatever reason? Tell us some details that you see about this community. You can make them up.
Good question. Would it be out of place to say that, like, maybe it looks like something happened? Or, like, things were put away in a rush or something?
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like something happened here. You can see that there's a bottle, like a big bottle of punch that still has the top open, that's sitting on one of the picnic tables, and there's a half-drunk cup or two of them. A Dixie cup is sort of tumbled over and is still dripping liquid, actually. A lone bag of Doritos blows in the breeze, still some left. There are still shoes outside of the steps of some of the RVs. But that's not unusual with a pack. But still.
The food, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this isn't Molly's first time seeing something ramshackle or a little ran down. Kind of reminds her of a small community that she grew up outside of. But adding on to the fact that, you know, there was food left behind and seems like people were in a rush, I'd like to think, even though those ATVs are well worn, there was something off about them too. Like, somebody tried to use one.
Ooh,
For
yeah.
whatever
So you go
reason, it didn't start.
investigate. Yeah. So is Molly like pretty decent with vehicle stuff? Is she pretty practical? Or is she can she change a tire?
Oh, she could change a tire. Change oil? No. Tire, sort of. Yes.
Okay.
But she knows what a slashed tire or a ruined tire would look like, no matter the equipment.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you notice one or two of the ATVs actually seem to have popped tires in the shape of tooth prints. Wolf tooth prints. Bite marks, one might say.
that's the
Roll
campaign. Wrap it
credits.
up.
We're done.
Well, they didn't leave here on the... They did not leave with the ATVs. Something bit them.
Bit them?
Probably one of our knots running around.
Hmm. Why?
Like-
Why do you think it would keep them from trying to leave? Well, I mean, aside from the obvious, but the things would have to know that there are also werewolves here, right?
It's been specifically targeting werewolves.
Yeah.
Because run it by me. Again, we had the not Darius,
Mm-hmm.
the
And we had,
reportedly not Yaz.
yeah, and the not Priya,
Not Priya.
as well. So no, or I mean, the things didn't seem like they had a hive mind exactly, but it seemed like they could communicate in some way. So they know about the Spine Mountain Pack, and they know about us. Because I don't know. How could it have transformed into Yas before it saw him?
Yaz is old. Like, older than... Well, I was
Older
gonna
than
say
dirt,
older than-
you can say that. So.
not really older than dirt.
Calm down over there.
Oh, no. Actually, put it lightly, topsoil is actually older than Yaz.
Yeah, so old that jokes begin.
Yeah.
The 90s all over again.
But I get it. But Yaz is old. Old Silversides is old. There's so many legends tied to the cryptid that our old man is.
Mm.
He lives and breathes his own public consciousness. Like, it's a phenomenon that I've even perpetuated with my podcast.
I mean, that is. Yeah,
What's a podcast?
that is. Oh,
Hey, Miriam,
well,
you familiar with TV?
Mima! Yes, I know what TV is. She gives you a sour look. Look, I know
Okay,
what
so
TV is. You could have just
Alright.
said it was a TV show.
Well, for the internet, and there's not really video, it's more like a record player. But
yeah.
Remember when you
Thinking
would turn on
online-
the radio to listen to the news of the war?
Yeah. It's an online radio. Let's put it
It's
that
like
way.
that, but now most of it's about serial killers. I don't know why.
but people can choose to like continue listening to the same thing. It's not like programs randomly switch around. It's kind of one of those things.
Episode.
Interesting.
Mhm.
She actually sounds
a-
a little curious about this.
I'll give you the link to listen to what I've got later. I'm gonna warn you right now, seasons 1 and 2 were not my proudest work.
Like and subscribe. If you feel
Everybody's
like
got to
that,
start somewhere, right?
Don't forget to ring the bell.
Yeah, don't forget to like it. Yeah, for real. Click
Yeah.
this and then
Like
click
and
this email.
subscribe.
Oh my god. I do like it. I don't know what subscribe is.
Okay, she's not Miriam's not hopeless.
Hey guys. Like and
Yes.
subscribe.
Not
So
on
sorry.
this carpet. Outside. No. Bad.
In the snow. I know you don't have snow, but in the snow.
So-
Anyways, rolling that back.
Yeah.
But so that makes sense that White perhaps chose. Yeah, I am now really concerned with because Mateo and Percival.
we
Because that Mateo might not have been actually Mateo.
You have a good point.
that is a very good point.
Let's investigate his house. And she sort of jogs ahead to one of the cabins. And she searches for a key, tries the door, and then kicks the door in. And then sticks her head inside.
Does she not know that I carry a set of lockpicks in my medical bag?
I guess not, but I mean, do you really want to interrupt the flow she's got going on apparently right now? So
No, she's terrifying, and she could wipe us across the. She could make us paste in like 5 seconds flat.
I will not
Yeah,
make you pay.
perhaps.
I'm bringing you here to learn. Come in here and tell me what you see. Tell me what you smell.
I
The
love
inside
my
of
girlfriend
Mateo's.
so much, by the way.
The inside of Mateo's cabin is a bit bachelor pad. It's not quite like Percy's like beer can Legotopia, but it is Mateo definitely. Sorry, my cat is acting insane right out of my fuse, and she's ruining my DMing here. Anyway, Mateo, stop being cute. Okay, so Mateo, he has like a full bar there as well, and it looks like someone has been in here. There are muddy boot prints in 2 different sizes. Tracked all carelessly all over.
Well, definitely seems like several people have been here.
Smells oily.
Ew. Well, that's not a good.
Molly just like flares her nostrils a bit to get that, just to confirm.
Yep. Yeah, you smell that oily smell. It's coming off of the footprints. Both of them.
Now, Miriam, you would not have happened to have watched the habits of your former pact mates closely.
Close
You would
enough.
not know what the bottom of their boots looked like, would you?
Well, I know what dogs look like. And she sort of squats down and looks at them. I think this is Ezra. She points at the bigger set. He's a large man. Ezra was acting strange before I left. It was part of the reason I chose to leave. He was getting even bossier than usual. He has a temper that it's a lot. And he doesn't take no for an answer. I don't like that, so I left. She actually looks mildly, not traumatized, but she actually looks uncomfortable when she speaks of him. Ezra is not like Cal at all. He is controlling. He can be mean-spirited. And at the same time, he's got this charisma about him. I've met men like him before. One minute, they speak beautifully. They can say all the honeyed words to you, but their actions don't back it up. I don't like that.
Trust me. I understand.
Also, just their eyes will flick over to Molly just really quickly. But stay quiet.
Say it. Smells and sounds like our old alpha before Cal took over.
Hmm.
Miriam looks mildly curious, but she's a very business person and perhaps is not as inquisitive as other characters might be, unfortunately. But you're welcome to chat amongst yourselves about it.
Molly just holds up her hands and, like, waves it away. Story for another time when we actively get out of this shit. Alright, second said. Who's that?
Mateo.
Ezra.
They were
Mateo.
together occasionally. They were having sex, but it doesn't smell like that in here.
I did not need to know about somebody's love life. Thank God.
Oh, it wasn't love life. I don't think
Whatever.
Ezra's capable of that. Mateo had shit taste.
Apparently.
No. Considering that usually trying to date between pack lines gets real fucking blurred, I think Mateo just went with whatever he could get out this, to put it kindly, shit pool.
Miriam makes no objection to that. She sneezes some of the smell out and then goes back out and leaves the kind of onto the porch patio area. And she stands out there and she looks around. It's still raining and pattering. And at this point, her hair is soaked to her head, just like a little inky black sheet. And her eyes seem owlishly huge. This is a person that would look completely mismatches her personality if she was. The minute she opens her mouth, it's a different story. But when she's quiet, she is cute as a button.
Hey, before I leave, just want to know, how fresh is that mud left behind on the footprints?
The Mateo's is dry. The one that Miriam identified as Ezra's is not wet, but definitely softer to the touch.
So probably like maybe definitely a good handful of hours difference, but
Yeah.
Ezra came back.
Mm-hmm.
What makes you say that?
Mud's different. Mateo's, the ones you identified as Mateo's footprints are dry as bone. That other one, stiff, but it's squish.
Miriam looks over at it and then gives you an assessing and a look. You're right.
Do the do the boot prints lead to a specific location? You should. You should.
The Foxy, stop being high. Okay, so
Wasn't just them. Wasn't just them.
So, yeah, that's a great question. The boot prints go inside and then they turn around and leave again, but it's raining. And so rapidly, all of the scuffed prints and things in the sort of center area of the community is soft now. Like, it's been raining for a good 20, maybe even a half hour, 20 minutes, half hour. And the prints are washing away.
Well, crap.
This sucks.
Yeah, we're burning precious time now, I guess. We should probably follow the track.
Do we want to call Cal?
We can smell better as well, she says reluctantly. And then she awkwardly tries to transform, and she manages to do it, but it reminds you of some of your first times transforming, where like it's like one limb at a time, and kind of like like putting on clothes carefully, like trying to figure out a complicated new outfit. But it doesn't look painful this time. It looks like precise and unpracticed. Until her werewolf actually is standing there shaking off. And she looks expectantly at the two of you, almost like she doesn't want to be alone in this form.
Hollis will shift into werewolf form as well. Yeah. But definitely a bit more slowly than before, just because of the sheer amount of tiredness she's feeling right now.
You can reduce up to 3 harm, by the way, since you just shifted.
Can finally get rid of that 3 harm I've been hanging on to for however long now.
Yeah.
To be fair, it has been within the space of like a whole other day.
Oh, that's true.
So like,
either way,
it's taken.
We good now.
We've been like on this case for about 3 days now. By the way, like real time, like in-game time, it's been 3 days.
It's been a wild.
All of our sessions, for all of our episodes.
Oh, I love that you just shook it off. That's cute. Good role playing there.
Thank you.
Molly, do you stay in human form or do you decide to shift?
I'm staying human.
Sounds good.
I don't trust letting the friend in the cage back out again, considering what happened last time.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. What are you concerned? Can you dig a bit deeper into that for us? Like, what does Molly think might happen if she transforms?
Well, it's loss of control, going off, and definitely not being able to be aware of the situation, not being of any help or grace. She understands that Miriam is, like, seeking reassurance, and having both of us would be great. However, Molly's always had issues with her werewolf form. Like, before she left the pack, I think there was only 2 other times that she shifted into it, and that was just for maybe a hunt or 2. And the old alpha really had to coerce her into it.
Yeah. So complicated relationship. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. You'll face no pressure from either of us, I assume, Hollis. So, yeah.
No, Hollis would have recognized or heard about Molly's history well after Molly left, of her and her werewolf form and all of her intricacies within Greenforest.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Hollis would not pressure Molly to do it, for sure.
Yeah. Miriam walks up to the largest building, which seems to belong to Ezra. This place is more polished than everybody else. It has a big generator outside. It's well repaired. The roof looks like really done and touched up. It's this establishment is a little nicer than everybody else. And Miriam climbs up onto the porch and uses a paw to wipe away some of the condensation on one and peers in, which, now that I'm imagining it, would be kind of terrifying if you were inside. Like, can you imagine a werewolf going and like then just peeking
Yeah.
like
Yeah, it's like a vaguely human shape, and then just wolf face.
wolf ears. Yeah,
Yeah.
God, this is why you close your goddamn blinds at night, people. I swear to God. You just don't
This is
even.
why
This
you
is why
live
you
on
do
the
it.
second floor.
This is why you live on the second floor and you close
If
your
Yaz
blinds.
becomes a werewolf, its second floor don't matter.
It's true.
Bro.
Fully. Fully. So yes, she peeks in. There's a light on inside. She, Molly, as you presumably come up, do you approach the door with everybody?
I guess.
You don't have to. You are an autonomous individual that can take attitude.
I
You
know,
would
this
rather-
is. However, staying back sounds even worse because, you know, sure, I might get the head start on running, but I am small. Though fast.
Safety in numbers.
If that thing also is like, if whatever's in there is a thing that is down to chase us, is bound and determined to chase us down and mow us down, Molly knows that she can't usually win out in a foot race because one time she tried racing Yaz and lost. Badly.
Interesting choice of race partner. Like, that seems like a difficult
She
race
thought
to
she
win.
could outpace him because he was old. And that's when
Yeah.
she learned not to underestimate him because of his age.
I don't race. Racing applies the probability of losing. I win.
Oh, goodness. All right. Miriam uses her hand to lightly try and open the door. Surprisingly delicate compared to the SWAT entry she did on Mateo's house. It breaks, and she awkwardly is holding the handle, and her ears go back, and she quietly steps away and does not make eye contact.
Oh.
Let me see what I got.
She kicks the door
I was
open.
gonna say if you have anything in that
Okay,
magic
never
bag,
mind.
you oh, okay.
The bag really ain't
Still
magic.
clutching the handle for some reason.
The bag
Uh,
is really magic. The only thing that I've got in here that isn't like maybe a knife, it's a big old medical book. Wish I had my shotgun.
Shotguns
Shotgun
are
would have been
great. Miriam sounds almost lusty when she says that. Like, guns, yes, I love them.
Ma'am,
Can you
you're
stop
taken.
making her hotter, please? Thank you.
Ma'am, I understand your love for weaponry and violence, but you're taken by
We
old
gotta-
man.
We gotta keep
And
her.
I don't want to. I
We gotta
don't
keep her on
want
the
to
upper end of the
contend
hot
with
crazy
that.
scale. Otherwise, you know.
So,
This is all
as
said
you all,
in character, honestly, by the way.
all right, as you all go inside, you're sort of investigating. You can see the cabin is big, but it's an open plan, and you can see the light that is on is a gooseneck lamp over on the kitchen counter that is gleaming down upon a small pile of items. What do you call, like, you know when you go in your house, like random tray that you put your crap on that is just filled
Trinket
with stuff?
tray.
Like, yeah, like keys and stuff. The
Yeah.
trinket
Tray.
tray.
You
is
mean any
essentially
solid surface? What?
That's because, yeah, for real. Just it's the area where there's a pile of little
It's trinket
notepads.
tray and or the coin jar, coin stash, because usually a lot of
Yeah.
people leave the spare change by the door in the little trinket trays with where the keys go and the post-it notes and paper clips and
All of those things. and
Literally
less
anything in your
are
pockets.
there.
Yeah.
So, as Miriam kind of ducks into the door, and now here I have a question for you. I swear this game is not Dungeons and Dragons, but I do want to know who is who is in the front. A cloaker falls from the ceiling. Okay, who is in the front and who is kind of towards the back here? Out of you two.
Unless
Not a
Molly,
trick question.
yeah. Unless Molly, physically puts herself behind Hollis, Hollis will try to maneuver her between the two of them. Just so max protection of the squishy human at the moment, so.
The beef squad. Okay.
Yeah.
Scary dog privilege.
Yeah.
The ultimate scary dog privilege.
Love it.
Who would notice? You all hear, even through the rain, which is beginning to pick up, a distant, heavy chuffing noise, like a bear. Just, I can't really do it, but it's like, you know that chuffing sound that bears make, where they're kind of a thing. You can hear that.
They're grumblies.
Yeah, outside the window and very close, climbing onto the porch behind you. And then we're gonna cut. We're gonna go to our very patient Alpha. Thanks, Mikey.
Oh, no problem.
Appreciate you.
I hate sitting and listening to my friends do really good role play. That's terrible for me.
Gasp! How dare we? How dare we do this to you?
So Cal, you find a good spot you find sort of a spot with some decent cover, but a little bit of height to it. And you are in a good place where you hear distant howls. You actually have an okay view of, you can see the distant shape of where the Spine Mountain community is. If any lights go on or anything, if an explosion happens, you'll see it. It is raining though, but you're not that far away. Yesaya headed out. You trust him to come back. As you're there waiting, what tells you that something has changed? What tells you that you are no longer
what? Sorry?
Alone. No longer alone.
God, I was hoping it wasn't that word. I think it's a sound. I think Cal has been absent-mindedly listening to, in the wind up here on the tree, the branches kind of clicking against the trunk, in the wind, and suddenly hears that sound stop.
Yeah, that is the case.
I will slowly, as if I'm not whipping around, look down and behind me on the tree.
There is a woman there, brown-skinned, tall. To be very clear, in this particular show, there is nudity, but it's kind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is a woman who is a werewolf, and she is standing there looking dazed and looking at you with unfocused eyes. Just
She's
standing right by
right
a tree.
Okay. Oh, and she's down.
She smells like oil.
Ah. That changes the equation.
Help.
Shit.
Please, I can feel it. You recognize this is Leilani, who is a long-standing member of Spine Mountain. She looks sickly. Her face is sort of ashen, and when she steps toward you, she stumbles.
I'm trying to figure out how smart Cal is. We know pretty much for sure that the knots we've faced are not the, because we found the sleeping versions of the people who the knots were imitating, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cal, Cal is going to shift into werewolf form, and growl down at her. I would love to help Lilani. You're not her.
When you shift into werewolf form, she stumbles back, intimidated. You've got the high ground and also...
Don't try it!
And she looks up at you and puts up her hands. No, it's me, I swear. I know what you're talking about. I've seen the transformation. I know what catalyzes it. I can't transform, or it will happen to me. It'll activate it. Help.
What have you seen? Tell me what you know.
She looks more and more sickly, and she says, Ezra, and then kind of coughs like a wet cough. It's Ezra. Find the key to the bunker. Fuck him. And then she dissolves and turns into a xeno. Her body shreds. She gains will. Her fur turns a sickly gray-white, more bald spots of flesh, sort of, not scales, but like textured, osteodermed skin. A werewolf-like head, but with jaws that go back like a crocodile, peeled back. And the snarl, her lip curls up to just reveal a bunch of pink gum, like all the way up like one of those creepy monkeys that I can't remember the name of, peels up way too far. And she begins to prowl toward with her quills.
Cal is going to shift his weight and kick one of the larger branches off the tree down at her.
You do so. The branch rolls down and kind of clocks her in the side, and she stumbles a bit, briefly distracted.
All right. While she's distracted, Cal is going to... before we all went in on this very dangerous mission where we were separating, we of course worked out a series of howls that are different than just a regular howl. And so in this case, Cal is going to let out the one of the knots is near me howl, which I think is like
howl.
three short and a long.
Danger,
you know, howl, 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 howl.
Hell yeah! Kudos for that. Yeah, you let out the sound, and everybody you do all hear it. We'll get to your reactions. So yeah, you let out that sharp howl, and the xenowolf snarl. By the time they get here, it will be too late, Alpha. And it then springs at you, ready to engage.
I'm liking this improvised weapon stuff, so I'm gonna take a branch that's big enough to fit my hand around, but not one of the huge thick ones, and rip it off the tree. And then I'm a motherfucking werewolf. I'm gonna let go and fall down towards her to smash her in the face as I go by.
You're gonna do the claymore. Okay.
I'm gonna do the King Kong.
Fuck yes.
It sounds to me like you might be mauling. Would you please roll for me, Keith?
Oh boy.
And let's see how
Got
this
this, Cal.
No whammy, no whammy, no whammy. That is a 9.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. That's great. Hold on just a sec. That's a 9 total?
Yep.
Okay. Oh my god, this audio track is so intense.
I know, it's great.
It's good.
It makes more
Well,
sense
that's
now
like
when we're
combat
fighting.
tracks
Yeah.
more is one of my fallback ones for combat tracks. I gotta get a few more of those in there, but I like this one a lot.
Yeah, this one's
It's
especially
cool.
great.
It's very
for
fitting.
Bitemarks.
This is very good for the knots, honestly,
Thank
because
you,
it's
thank you.
the,
Definitely.
the creepy vocals in the back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. You do it, and it's awesome. You swing around, you slam, and you hear the satisfying click as the jaw knocks awkwardly out of alignment, and teeth the size of daggers thud into the ground. Replaced almost immediately with more teeth. And you see, like a lamprey, the inside of the mouth opens to you and tries to swallow up your, and does so. And you feel all of the teeth.
I lost the last
right
one. Swallow my...
Your arm.
Oh!
Could have picked a different body part, but I chose the arm. Swallows up your arm with the lamprey mouth and bites down hard.
Okay.
Painful.
Yeah,
but not
that
lethal.
Sucks.
And it's only there because another one has sprung out of the bushes. You're being attacked by two now.
Cal does the howl again. Twice.
You do the howl again. Twice. A big, loud howl. And then you hear an answering howl. A terrible, screaming howl of another xenowolf. However, when this xenowolf comes onto the scene, it doesn't attack you. It slams into the new one and pulverizes them. This xenowolf looks familiar. This xenowolf is huge. It has a shock of white hair, scars over its eyes, and is significantly beefier than the two. It's Percival, who jumps out of the woods to your defense, looking a lot like the creatures that are attacking. And now we're gonna smash cut to Yesaya. Yesaya,
No.
our spiritual friend, you have officially gained a buff. You are feeling refreshed, connected, and centered. And with that feeling inside of your heart, it's actually pretty artsy because the moment you open are your eyes golden?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When you open up your golden eyes, almost immediately you hear the panicked danger in the distance. What do you do?
I think it takes him a long second. He's come to this place for answers, and he doesn't really want to return empty-handed. But I think after a long moment of breathing, it needed. And I think he's not speaking to anyone in particular, but sort of ambiently calling out to the spirits of this place and sort of, I guess, almost apologizing to them. They know that he knows what he came here for, but every part of him wants to stay here and get answers. But Yesaya is learning that instincts that he has relied on for hundreds of years maybe aren't the way to solve every problem this time. So I think he's feeling the pull to leave, even though he thinks he has more to gain here.
As you stand up to leave, still in your wolf form, you turn around, and there, like an honor guard, is a small pack of feral wolves, watching you attentively. They are very small compared to you, but very large compared to everything else. And they are watching you solemnly, and the lead female of the family is watching you quiet eyes. You turn to get up, she stands up, and the others follow you.
It has been a long time since I have led a hunt. I thank you for offering me this gift. Come now. There is blood to spill. And I think he transforms back into wolf form and howls as loud as he can. Both to, call out to Cal and the others that he's heard and answered, but also to whatever else the hell is out here, that it's made a horrible mistake by threatening his family.
Fuck yes! The wolves join in with you, their howls rising up loudly. All of you can hear Yesaya's signature bell-like howl, followed by just feral wolf howls that don't mean anything in werewolf language, but are simply sounds of nature. He's doing some druidic shit.
Mother.
Wild hunt. I know you're
Beautiful.
I just wanted to reinstate it.
All right, I promise we're all going to get you guys, well, probably together in a minute here, but let's go ahead and go one more time back to Ezra's cabin, to the
Switch
snuffling
it up
door.
then. I'll save the cool combat music then. I'm holding off on it. I'm holding off on it.
Get ready.
I'm going back to the mystery tracks. They never fail.
Mm-hmm. All right, you hear the snuffling, and Hollis, if you're at the back, which it sounds like maybe you are, you turn around just in time for your snout to be inches away from a xenowolf that is so large it's had to bend its neck down, almost like a dinosaur, to look into, see you. And it's completely silent. That's what's creepy about it. You didn't even feel the displacement of air when its head shot down to approach you, but when you turned around, it almost looks like it froze before striking, almost like it was going to hit you in the back, but then when you turned around, it froze and is now watching you. You hear Miriam go, "The fuck?"
Hey,
I am.
Ezra.
You hear a slow, rattling chuckle. "Lever, what are you doing in my home?" And the neck slithers in, long like a dragon, but furry.
Nope.
It's
No, as
slithers
soon as
in.
he tries, Hollis is swiping at him. So,
Give him roll me maul. Roll me maul. Let's see if we can
Okay.
get your jaw off again. Get the 2 jaws, 1 game.
Knock the jaw. Knock the jaw.
Knock the jaw.
Uh-huh.
We need to make
where
a
did
jawbone
my
necklace.
maul go?
Oh,
If
hell
we
yeah.
still had the bones for Hollis, because like
Ooh, that would be cool. Ooh,
Because,
that would
like,
be super cool. Wait, but
Hollis-
did
Good ritualistic
but
sort
it's
of
a-
deal.
but also it's like a really good signifier of like Hollis usually our very mild mannered one. Fucking mauled the shit out of two count 'em fucking not wolves.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, you're definitely
fucking
slap
badass.
maxing. No question. It's true. No question. Absolutely.
Well, you might want to hold on to that thought for a second because I got a 5 total.
Okay.
Not great.
So
Remember,
No.
in this game, low rolls are just as interesting, and I will never punish you for a low roll. It'll just be an interesting opportunity for narrative. Hold on just a sec.
I love the way you
Let
GM.
me double check something.
Well, I appreciate this game for facilitating this for our lovely game facilitator.
indeed.
Well, I'm glad you all are so flexible with me. I appreciate it. All right, let's take a look here. Okay, I get here to make a soft move is a consequence that the MC is encouraged to make. There's a lot of tables for me to pick from where there is a consequence for failing, not succeeding well on an action. So, here's what I think we're gonna do. I think the consequence of this is that Molly gets hurt. And I think what happens is when you swipe down to try and hit, you have the best of intentions, but this neck snakes in a completely unnatural way. It literally should not be able to move like this. He just slips his head away. His head and his neck are inside here, massive. Not even the rest of the body. You haven't even seen the rest of the body yet. So who can blame you? You go for a swipe at the same time as, naturally, Molly is turning around to assess the friggin' threat. And I think that you hit Molly a decent blow. Molly, take 2 harm.
Ooh.
Oh.
I think I still have my 1 harm too from last go around.
Okay. So paint a picture for me. How does this look?
Well, Hollis, like, after getting over the shock of turning around and seeing that face just frozen, literally right there. Tries to do that thing, but probably clocks Molly a little bit, winding back for a swipe, and then immediately freezes and recoils.
Oh,
She didn't want to do that.
Of course not.
So,
Molly, you get, I guess, was it kind of a blunt force trauma here, like an elbow kind of a thing? Or was it a scratch?
whatever you feel down for.
What would you
I'm down for
prefer,
either
Molly?
or.
Would you like blunt force or slashing? You tell us.
I mean,
Dealer's choice.
dealer's choice. I love hearing that, even though I just said I'd love either. How dare you make the indecisive one choose?
You could have both.
Same.
You know what? I actually like the idea of the slashing. Just because, I don't know why, it just feels more apt, because Hollis's claws were out. Hollis didn't have a time to retract. Sure, it can happen, like, we can retract as best as we can, but it's still not a... It still takes a bit to recognize that, even when you're slashing.
Yeah.
So, Molly, what are you going to do? I want to give you a chance to have some space here.
Well, outside of the nice, lovely new gash that's just on her body.
Some dirt in it, you be
It's
alright.
We'll put some salt in the wound. It'll be fine. We all know Molly's doctoring style by now. If super glue can't fix it, then she'll try to sew it, but usually it's preferred super glue.
And if none of those work, slapping the patient is on the table.
Heal, damn you! My arm's broken! Heal! Lay on palms.
So yeah, I guess we are working with this here. It is terrifying, and it hurts. However, the more terrifying thing is whatever Ezra used to be. I don't think she answers him. I know he asked what are we doing in his home. She doesn't answer. And instead, knowing that this is like a bit of a shard in the dark, and you can call me out for this, but I think Molly would at least still have like one use of a trank dart.
Sure. Yeah, just would it be in kind of your little dog backpack that you carry around?
My little med dog backpack.
So my question for you is, you may have that, but to set the scene a little bit more, it's a crowded interior. There's a massive creature in here with you.
If I roll low, I'm very well aware that if I roll low, I either knock out Hollis or I knock out Miriam or incapacitate both of those, like impair both of those heavily, which
Okay.
hard to move around.
Let me think what roll. Shoot to Mike. I don't know. It's actually.
I'm not a.
This might just be something that you do. Bitemarks is also a heavily narrated game too, and I don't think I'm going to make you roll necessarily for this, but it sounds like the intention would be to sedate.
An intention is to sedate. I also could make a guts roll because I'll take it on the limb here. I'll make a challenge. Molly is a problem child. And would rather give Miriam and Hollis better openings for mauling the shit out of this thing, especially since we haven't seen the body yet.
So you're gonna try and dominate this person? That's an option.
Dominate, yes, but Guts literally has a make a challenge tag to it.
Okay, so what's the challenge you're wanting to make? Walk me through a bit so I can play with you.
Alright, so, he wants to know why we're in his home, right? Right. It's very much that petulant child energy of, even though she just got slashed and she's hurt, Molly's still gunfire and brimstone and spiteful little tiny energy all rolled into one. It's very much a what's it to ya kind of challenge out here.
Mhm.
She speaks up and says, "Ain't none of your fucking business." Maybe.
So for this, beautiful. You don't have to roll. I'm checking out Make a Challenge. That's interacting primarily within.
Oh, hack. Okay.
However,
That's my bad.
what you said is true, and you do say it, and all 8 of his eyes will look at you as you speak. They're all lined up along the side of his snout, and his lip curls up, and he lets out a rattly laugh again. He has a southern accent as well, and it's like listening through a fuzzy speaker when he speaks, and also his mouth doesn't move. He's doing that werewolf thing, the way that we talk. But yeah, he looks at you with an amused sort of ripple of his teeth, and as he's interacting with you, suddenly Miriam fucking books it across the room towards that little trinket tray. Like, you hear the shred of wood under her as she runs for it, and he laughs and goes, Midge, and he shoots after her and snatches her up in his jaws before she can get to that trinket tray. But she knocks into it, scattering the contents around. Some of them skitter all the way across the floor toward one of which gleams gold at your feet.
A key?
A locket.
Mia's locket. Yoink.
Yoink. Indeed, the locket is now in your possession.
Alice! Signal!
Howling.
I love that you charged
I don't know.
up your howl. Helen, I love you so much.
Incredible. That was the greatest thing you've ever
love
done.
it. I love that you charged up your howl so fucking much. I'm never gonna not do that now.
Molly can't howl properly right now because she's in human form, and the human vocals don't vocalize the right way that we all figured out our long howl and 3 shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was more
Yeah,
just
saving
like
a
Hollis
haircut.
being like, "Oh shit," kind of getting shocked out of the shock. So.
All right. So here's my question, Yesaya. You and the feral have to make a decision here. Are you going to go? Which call are you going to answer? You heard the alpha's call, and you also heard the howl's call. And they're unfortunately in different directions.
I am going to do something that I have not, I don't think, ever done in the entirety of my long life and or his not so long tenure as Alpha. I'm going to trust Calvin to take care of himself.
Appreciate the faith.
Somebody click that.
Yeah,
We'll get it clipped later.
we need that. We need that in.
Yesaya is, as he's still sprinting in his wolf form, going to kind of like indicate telepathically towards the other wolves that they should go towards Calvin because he will still need some assistance, and he will go and see why the howl calls.
Okay. You can actually just tell them things, and in this moment, because you have connected with nature and you've connected with the land, all you have to do is give them a look, and the matriarch looks at you back, and then they silently off from you and head toward where Cal is engaged.
Beautiful image in my head. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he'll
Slow
peel
motion
off.
wolf running.
Mm-hmm. And he'll just kind of peel off into a shadow and sort of fade away and disappear as he goes towards wherever Hollis is calling from.
You tear up the side of the steep hill, and you surge up so fast that you actually knock an RV over accidentally as you skid to a halt in the mud, and you see the weirdest fucking sight. There is a massive, not kaiju-sized, but I would say like lodge-sized creature with multiple strands oozing out of where its neck would be, with one of the strands dipping into one of the cabins. And it's squatting with its paws on either side, and it's flared out. It's like a xeno, if a xenowolf was a hydra. And you have a moment to choose what to do here before heads. How do you want to handle this?
Junji Ito?
I think
He's my favorite.
True. It's great. You're incredible.
You had your Princess Mononoke moment, and now you.
No, it's great. You're incredible.
Immediately.
Again, I love the way you GM. I think Yasea is looking at this foul mockery of existence and is going to kind of like look at its several heads and immediately think like they are going to know what this is and can give me more information before I decide on what I'm going to do here. And I think he's going to look at the head kind of dipped into the cavern, and I assume hearing the kind of sounds of yipping and yapping and werewolf fighting, which I have sounds for. I'll put those on right now. I think he decides he wants to dive into the house and just like still remaining wolf form for now. In fact, no, probably shifting into human form as he literally just barrels through like the side of the wall of the shack that they're in, just diving to where the rest are.
Man. All right. It is done.
Exactly.
Beautiful. You don't need to roll for that. You can do it. So yeah, you come smashing through the side with such force that you blow the wall out, of course, and send wood just shattering every which way and skidding across the ground. Also, artistically, I think this happens right after Molly's, bleeding. Molly reaches down and snatches up the like a split second later, like all of the wood comes shattering in and skittering across the ground. This is all happening very quickly. And you see Miriam flailing in the jaws of one of these heads, and she is vomiting blood and snarling, and she's ripped out some of the eyes, but this is a losing battle. The other girls are doing okay, except for it looks like Molly is bleeding, and Hollis is not idle, but Hollis is definitely like getting adjusted to figure out what to do next. So like not frozen, but like figuring out where to attack next, because this is happening.
I think Yasea, as he barrels through, sees all of this, takes us all in a moment, and then like his like nostrils flare even in human form the moment he sees Miriam and anything close to danger. But I think he takes a moment and kind of clutches himself very close. Molly, are you wounded?
I'll be fine. I can fix it later. Save her.
Yeah, can I use a move real quick?
What's that?
Can I use a move real quick?
Oh, yes. What do you want to do?
I'm going to draw on the pack if that's cool. You may draw on the power of the pack to heal a pack member. You do not need to fill the no more the pack pool. If there are pack points to spend available, you may spend them with this move. Choose whether you're spending 1, 2, or 3, and then roll. If I get a certain number, I heal somebody. Basically, simple as that.
That's great. Faster. I have a suggestion. I have a suggestion for this, if I may. This is fucking awesome. Please do this. What if the thing is since she's in the mouth of it right now? Would you like to maul first, because she's in a.
Oh, yeah,
okay,
sure.
so how about we just...
I love some mauling.
Yeah. You do.
And I also think he was using the move to heal Molly, not Miriam.
To heal Molly. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Forgive me.
I was
gonna heal Molly. Yeah, I was gonna heal Molly real quick and then go deal with the...
Molly, let's do it. Okay, I totally see what you're saying. So yes, retconning back to what you originally said, indeed, you pack.
Right.
Does this... do you have to spend the pack pool?
Yes. You can choose how many I spend. I'm gonna spend... We got 8 in the pack pool right now. I'm gonna spend 2. That's cool, everybody. Everybody cool with 2?
Yep. Do it.
All right. And then I roll at +2 for this roll right here. Here it comes. That's a 6 on the die +1 for 7. Molly, you heal 2 phases, and the MCU can pick one. They can either gain the heartbeat wounded. They are unconscious for 24 hours, at which point their spirit wanders for a little bit. They can be unable to change. The next time they dominate or maul, they have to automatically give it to the wolf, or they blurt out a brief secret, or someone else receives +1 harm, or they lose +1 harm.
Someone else receives +1 harm?
That is an option, yes. One pack mate, it says, receives +1 harm to restrain them for treatment. You can say that's me if you want. I have no problem with that.
Anything right now.
Yeah, that's also fair.
I love hurting you. I think
We barely get to hurt the old man.
I think that is the case. I think, Yusaya, if I may do a bit narration, you tell me that if you want.
Please.
You do this, and it's beautiful. And all of you, this is something you haven't seen Yusaya do before, but then again, you haven't shared this degree of dire combat ever with him. And it's super fucking cool. And you feel this, like, pulse. As he does what he just described, you feel him differently. Like, he's part of this land, this forest, in a way that, like, you feel the silver sides, you feel this is him, but this is also a glimpse of the legend that you speak about in your podcast. And for a brief second, as this touches you, you see a side of Yusaya that isn't just the grumpy old man, but is a glimpse of what made him a legend to begin with. And it heals you. However, Yusaya, in so doing, I'm going to say it's as simple as getting slammed by the neck as it rolls around, and heftily, like a rib crack kind of a moment.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Do you mind if, I guess, narratively adding to that? I think after it, like, Yusaya kind of
Do
like,
it,
again,
please.
very calmly, just like, I think the healing was just simple as like him just like, as Molly's saying, like, I'm fine, go for her. He just holds a hand out and waves it over the gash, and it's just a bit of steam as it's kind of closing somewhat in a very brief moment of calm. And then the arm slams into him, and he just wraps his arm around it, looks at Molly again. Stand backwards. I will show you what you have been running from being.
Beautiful.
Alright, I gotta write that down, and we need that clipped.
Yeah. God damn, Foxy with the one-liners like that. Beautiful, beautiful.
There is one thing I have to say. We are at an absolutely gorgeous moment. I'm trying to decide. We do need to wind down to end session in a bit. Probably 20 more minutes are left. So here's my question. Do we want to pause here, and I'll take detailed notes, and we will jump right back in the middle of combat next session? Or do we want to try and zoom through combat now? Thoughts, opinions?
Do you think we'll get through combat in the 20 minutes that we have?
Because we've got 2 separate combats. I would say we're
not going to be able to get through 2. We'll be able to get through what's happening with Molly and everybody there, but Mikey will probably not be able to get with you and Percy until time. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm also fine with that. I'm fine with kind of getting this one.
I know we're trying to keep on time, but can we at least have a quick 5-minute break? Because we have not had a break since we started.
Oh my god, we did. Okay, everybody, thank you for coming. We're going to do our late intermission. We're going to be back in about 5 to 7 minutes here on Neon Lights Roleplay, and we'll see you very soon. Look forward to the action.
Bring music in.
Hello and welcome back to Bitemarks, our actual play about werewolves trying to solve a dark mystery. Our scene flashes back on to a kind of horrifying sight where the side of a cabin on the top of this wooded hill has been blasted open, and we have a tableau of violence and disaster. Foxy, you have just healed Molly. Molly, I want to give you a second of reaction time to, number 1, clutching the locket, and also being healed in this moment. What is Molly thinking about this, and is she going to take any action? Does she want time for a minute to do anything?
Shit.
This is accurate to how you might be feeling.
Yeah, it's pretty dang accurate.
It's method acting.
It's method acting. It is, but also, like, Molly has Mia's locket, which had some importance as to why it was taken in the first fucking place. And so she wants to get the fuck out of there with it, but that means being a coward and ditching her pack, and technically Miriam, who's honorary pack at this point, just given with how Yusaya has been. And Yusaya just healed her, which she's trying to brain buffer from too. Like, she's still ouched, but not as severely. Which, again, she could have handled. She's fine. I don't think there's really anything else outside of maybe just ducking for a bit of cover at this point, because it's...
Sure.
She's learned the hard way. Do not stand near Yaz. Especially when Yaz says, stand back.
Alright. You're able to dive behind the fancy bar that that Ezra has up. Seems like this group likes their drink. And you duck behind it.
Why Percy got along with them so well.
There's a flailing smash as a second head crashes through the other wall and shoots right over your head, knocking down of the whiskey and elaborate, whoever Ezra probably fancied himself a bartender.
God.
So all of his amateur bartending stuff is smashed to bits, and there's glass sparkling across the floor, and it's actually really artsy. However, the rain has picked up, so now there's rain shooting in, making the glass shard floor slippery, difficult terrain, dare I say. It's a mess. And Yesaya, you and Hollis have the opportunity now to do something. Miriam is still getting fucked up by one of the heads. The other head has just come in and is searching for a target. So what do you all do?
Oh, you muted, Foxy.
I'm gonna give it one, obviously. Yeah, no, I think Yesaya is recognizing that it's maybe time to not resist bringing out the big guns when it comes to things like this. So, I think after catching the one neck as it slammed into his rib, he kind of crushes it a bit, but eventually pushes it away, rolls his shoulders a few times. It's been a while since he's done this voluntarily, and it feels a little uncomfortable, but I think as we have a brief flashback to that moment around the lake where that was that kind of spectral image of the shackle about his neck with the long chain and the one knot that came loose, the other bolt of that shackle kind of turns and then dissipates, and the entire bolt shakes loose and drops to the ground as Yesaya breathes and then roars and shifts into his werewolf form for the first time voluntarily in a very, very long time.
Hell yes!
Yeah!
Amazing!
Fuck yeah!
Yes, you do so. Huge and beautiful and terrifying. And as the second head comes rushing in, you simply grab it and start grappling this massive head. Just you simply grab, and it tries to shove you, but you dig in your feet, and you're locked in a shove muscle off, and it's amazing. You all see Yesaya do this. It's amazing because of how big this Ezra is. It's the size of the lodge, and it's moving around. You can see its paws curling around the outside of the building. The size of this thing, it's definitely wrestling with a small but kaiju nevertheless, right? Hollis, what do you want to do? Do you want to hop in on this action?
Yes.
Please.
I think Hollis is gonna give Molly one last kind of just quick look of I'm sorry. And then turn back to the Ezra thing and give in to the wolf.
I loved it. You guys are just so good to me today. Oh, wow.
We try to always be good to you.
Most of the time, at least.
You can be menaces.
That's true.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Where's the fun in being tame?
For real. Alright, so giving into the wolf, go ahead and roll plus feral and let me know what you get.
Yeah. Alright. Open, there we go. Alright, plus feral. I got a 9.
Ooh.
You got a 9.
Ooh.
Okay, on a 7 to 9, do you have, it's page 118. Do you want me to read it to you or do you have it open?
I have it open.
Okay. So you can choose one of the options. Let me know what you pick.
Yeah. I think I am going to go with +1 harm to my bite and claws.
Okay. Yeah. So, how does this look visually when you give into the... Like, what do we see that indicates you changed a little bit? Do you... Oh my god. When you see Yesaya do this transformation, do you follow in his footsteps, kind of?
Kind of. I want to see.
Okay. Yeah. How's it going?
Yeah, so when Hollis turns back from looking at Molly, just... the same way that her eyes glow when she's having the sort of... when she's in touch with the spirit world.
Yeah.
That just takes over her eyes, and she just kind of lurches forward into more of a feral stance.
You have that unique
Just
punch to the
right on
spirit
cue after you say
afterward.
it. So, yeah.
Oh, so cool. Beautiful. Yeah. The air around you becomes extremely intimidating, and the spiritual energy flowing around you, the creepiness that is indicative of as the leaders of in your role is static on your front. A very different kind of intimidation. Okay, raise your hand if you want to maul, and sally forth and give me a roll, please.
I would love to do a little bit of mauling.
Since you asked so nicely.
It's my
just like
favorite
a half
thing to
bit.
do. And my
half
dice
maul,
know
like,
it because I
independent
just rolled 2 6s.
What, 2 6s?
2
Beautiful.
6s, 12.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Okay. Describe to me how you incapacitate this creature, or at the very least, the majority of its heads.
I think it begins with like looking over and seeing Hollis drawing in as far as they do, and like feeling empowered and inspired by like a fellow member of the pack willing to give in and follow him so willingly, and then sort of like follow in his wake almost. And I think he is so impressed and proud that as he like first is like mostly permanently worried about like trying to make sure like Hollis and Miriam are fine. The moment he sees Hollis give it and know that she's near Miriam, trusts her to handle getting her out without a problem. And I think he like starts to kind of like, as he's grappling more with this large head, finally digs his large claws of his feet into the ground more to gain some traction, turns the head to look at him and just, so how many of these do I have to tear off before you stop moving? And just starts ripping at the head as much as he can, just tearing it this way and that, grinding at the flesh, tears that one off, another head crashes through the thing, he grabs onto it with one hand and starts just tearing at it. Just every time a head or an arm comes at him, he just starts ripping it and tearing it until there's just viscera and gore and mess all around him.
Everywhere. Yeah. Absolutely. It is as you say. Gore showers the land and mixes water on the floor and the glass. And bit by, it's difficult. It is difficult work. It hurts your hands to do it. It actually feels like touching an acidic surface, but luckily the calluses on your paws are thick. And yes, you do as you say, and you clear through many of the heads as they surge down to defend themselves. And at one point, the heads withdraw, but you don't let them. You chase after them and grab and reel them back in. This thing is essentially incapacitated, I would say, at this point. However, Miriam is still trapped in one of the jaws, which seems to be dead set on bisecting her. So, Hollis, do you want to hop in on that?
Yeah, I think I will.
That's nice of you, considering the way that you two met. She wasn't very good to you.
Yeah.
All that.
Well, I helped her heal a
Be-
broken
be
neck
the bigger
already, so. That's... And what is... Yeah, that's not great. That's a 5.
5? Okay.
So, yeah.
That's okay.
With your
It'll be
plus one?
interesting.
Oh no,
Yes,
that's
with my plus 1.
The
With your plus 1?
Yeah.
Right.
Well... So, I have been thinking about a thing. I do have an intimacy move with Yesaya. And that essentially boils down to gain a +1 to all actions that put them in danger when it is for the good of the pack. So,
Yo, put me in danger. I'm so fine with you doing that.
Yaz is already in danger by attacking the rest of the heads here.
Truth. So would
Yes.
would that affect that somehow?
I feel like I love playing narratively. The roles are here to help us make it interesting and add some spice. But yeah, use that intimacy move absolutely. Yasei is already at risk and rolled a 12, so I'm going to say that the risk is already what he's handling. But we'll do a slight rewind of the tape and play out this intimacy move.
I'm happy to say that, like, absolutely, no question. I'm happy to say that I took a bit of harm in my dispatching of this thing. I'm happy to include that as part of the narrative here.
You don't even take harm. You rolled a 12.
Okay, sure,
you get
fair enough.
aesthetic you get surface cosmetic injuries on camera.
Oh yeah, I got enough scars to bear. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what that would do then would be gain a +1 to all actions that put them in danger. So, would I be able to apply that to this? I mean, it won't change the roll either way. It'll just bump it up to a 6 rather than a 5. So,
I think it's a good moment to express the intimacy of it. I think it's almost a good narrative prompt to be like, I'm here with Yasea, I'm rising to the occasion. Like, this is a dangerous and scary moment. Like, everybody's response is valid, and also, you could lose your confidence because, you know, you hit Molly, and you could just sort of choke up and be like, it didn't start the way I wanted it to, I can't, but rose to meet the challenge, and that's important.
Just like I knew you always would.
So here's the thing. Because dice are cruel, it was a low. And so I think what happens is... Oof. You don't quite get there in time. You get to the head, and you reach out, and your claws sink into it and yank. But... it looks terrible. It's terrible. You manage to crack the jaw open, but Miriam is ragdoll physics all over, completely just not a single inch. She doesn't even look to be breathing. And it's worse than when her spine was broken earlier. My girl just keeps getting beat up, but it's going to take a miracle. And I'm going to say she's at the very least out of commission. Probably, possibly, maybe dead, but we're gonna leave her out of commission for the rest of it. But, interesting thing that happens. When you claw it, tell me how your howl powers imbue your attack. Tell me how that helps you make a difference in this moment.
Let's say that my claws are extended slightly by kind of like a crystalline sort of light like that, and it digs in further. So.
Yes! And wherever you rend, it leaves these electric stripes, like the same color that we see in your vision whenever you're in a different realm. It leaves these staticky, glitchy, after images, which is fucking sick, actually. And when you do that, matter simply dissolves. Instead of it being blood or goop, there's just a perfectly cauterized shred, and the head falls to the ground, and Miriam out of the jaws of it. Mixed success, one might say. All right.
Indeed.
So, I know that was a bit messy. Thank you all for your patience. But where we're leaving it on, I think, is the immediate aftermath. Like, you guys are still right in the middle of it. Molly, you are still, like, dodging the shatters and the splattering guts and stuff. Yasea, you are still, like, putting down whatever the most recent chunk of whatever is. Hollis, I think that the splash of it and is what does the cool camera cut to Cal in a second here. And then I think we hear the of Miriam's body, like, at the same time. And then... Mikey, thank you for your patience.
Of course.
We cut to a brief scene of of running feet, the feral wolves' feet. You just see them. They sort of dart across the screen towards the sound of raucous howls that we recognize to be yours. And then we're going to episode credits.
Smash cut. Quiet. Credits.
The Michael Bay, what I've done.
Oh God.
Not that. Oh God.
That cut was so good, it made me think I liked the movie for about a day.
It is a really good cut. Yeah, I have to admit, I'm like,
It's good. The one thing we can say about the Michael Bay music, or movies is that they at least have okay music.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
and robot transform good.
Yeah.
Robot cool looking good, cool robot. Yeah.
Robot looking cooler in later movies that don't involve
Explode
Michael
bot
Bay, though.
robot good. Caveman voice. That's me with all robot media. Okay, so wow. How y'all doing? Is anybody else flooded with adrenaline, or is it just me? Because oh my
no, not just you. Not just you.
I need a drink. Like, oh my god! Wow.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry that we might be losing your girlfriend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Especially after like the 2 fake outs we've gotten so far.
The worst part is going to be when we discover whatever, we're going to discover a miracle cure, and Al's going to be like, well, choose between Percy and Miriam.
Yeah, it's gonna sound.
No, don't even put that idea in their head.
No,
don't.
it's already in their head.
No,
It's already in their
No.
In the head.
Yeah. 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 No, I think I'm just gonna.
I love you, Mikey.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was so intense.
Can
I just put some stuff off my shoulders because it was intense
Please.
for me too.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that was so intense. Thank you for your patience. I learned some lessons about pacing in this one, so in the future I've learned some stuff about how to do certain cuts. I appreciate your patience with when we do split the party.
Yeah.
I'm glad we have such a generous table too, because I've definitely facilitated for tables that were not very patient when other people, which is
The whole
understandable.
point of this is getting to see your friends shine.
I
That's
completely agree. That is one of the player principles that we espouse.
Also-
and well done.
Arguably, we got one of the cooler reveals of this episode which was what the fuck happened to Percy.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
True.
So
Yeah,
many
we're
emotions are gonna happen
delicious.
next.
For the
There's
audience
a lot
watching,
happening.
for the
Yeah,
audience
Steve and
watching,
I-
Steve is in the chat, laughing, cackling at us.
Oh shit, is he?
Steve, did you see it?
Steve watches as best as he can while
Yeah.
at work.
But I also yelled Percy no in chat,
In,
so
in,
no, he
in
did have.
our
Yeah.
personal chat.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So for anybody that doesn't know, Steve is the actual original creator and player of Percival, who was our enforcer, and he had to bounce because of schedule reasons. But I have adopted Percy as an NPC for now, and yeah, that's a quick fill in on that since Steve is on camera now. But you can see an illustration that Kellen did of Percy on our screen, which ruled. But yeah, this was a super cool session. My heart is beating so quickly. I think that likely this will be another session, maybe 2 if we feel like it, if we want to take a more leisurely final session of Super Down. But we're close to discovering beach episode at the end. Happy to
Technically,
do.
we already got our
episode.
beach episode.
Another funeral episode.
Oh God.
no.
Oh god.
No,
But,
not
yeah.
the Mace Hughes moment.
Ooh, giving me
My
ideas.
heart is hurting.
No, fuck.
My bad. I'm sorry. That's
It's
on me.
okay.
Better that than the
fine.
Chimera, right? Like.
Uh,
All right. So anyway, thank you for this experience. I learned a lot. One thing that I'm challenged with Bitemarks is I am trying to train myself as a facilitator to know that this isn't like D&D. And although rules are useful and can be called upon, I have to remind myself that frame of mind switch. And I was actually talking with my partner earlier. I was like, hey, my partner has a lot of experience running this particular system, and I was like, oh, okay, do you have any feedback? And my partner basically was like, don't forget to ask questions too. And I was like, oh my god, you're right. I'm like slipping into the DM mindset instead of the Bitemarks mindset. So I had a reframe of that today, which I think was really good for me, at least. And it was really cool to see what you guys all came up with. So how are you feeling?
I
Great.
love the way Neon Lights can be a great platform for people to collaboratively storytell, and I love the way that you facilitate that collaborative storytelling. I love the way you always yes and I think you are so good at like taking and getting at the heart at what people are trying to do and just going like, okay, cool, let's make that just a little bit cooler. Let's add a little bit more spice here. Let's throw a little bit more on top of that. And it's a thing that I love getting to play alongside because it makes playing so comfortable and so fun, and I really appreciate that a lot. So I appreciate the way you do that.
Oh, thanks. God, I'm so glad. That's great. Thank you. Yay. I'll take that gold star, thank you. Any other stars for people?
I want to throw a bunch
moments?
to Hollis for this episode, just like all the crazy shit you got up to and came up with, and it was very good.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Lovely Hollis. So good.
I feel like there is a lot to be said about this campaign's conversation about leadership and about like trust in each other and how that's almost a more important thing to have than leadership quality. And I feel like that it's simplified a lot in moments like this episode today, like Molly's sort of resolution a few episodes ago. There are these moments where one person just says like, hey, I think I know what to do here. And it's not about like that person being, the biggest fucking, like the biggest hat in the room. It's about the other people around them saying, okay, well, I trust you. So let's do the thing. And I think everyone has had at least one moment where they've kind of like gotten to take that stance. And I think that gives us a lot of fun to have there. And I think I appreciate seeing Hollis do that some today and be the more like, okay, I'm going to follow up on the lead here. I'm going to be the one that kind of like, is not afraid to push forward here and jump at the chance to attack a thing. Like, I think it's fun seeing that a lot in you, I think, this episode.
Thank you.
Similarly, I want to throw a star at Mikey. I feel like backseating and like giving space to be more of like I'm going to be kind of more of a narrative glue here and less of an active, like spotlight sort of like director is a thing that a lot of people can't do with any sort of grace. And I think that it takes a really good person to let that be the flow of the game and still hold down a really important narrative place in the fiction, which you still do with Cal, which I think is like it's admirable, and I think it's a thing that you should take a lot of pride in, honestly. Like, I think it's weird to be like, hey, props to how well you can like hang out in the background, but
props for not doing anything, but I appreciate it.
But legit, like you hold down that narrative rock roll very well in a way that a lot of people can't do. Again, like I said, with any grace,
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I really appreciate
He is the
that.
alpha. Yeah.
And the omega. No, wait.
No, that's a different thing.
Let's not go there.
Slow down, that's the wrong campaign.
Yeah.
Wrong everything.
Yeah. And I do want to throw a star to Molly as well. Just because she did, like, with how you played her, Rainy, she did take everything, and you took everything about her past and how it's compounding into, like, this moment where trauma can bubble back up to the surface for her, and she's being very careful with how she approaches everything. And that's a really nice way to approach it, and I love how you've been playing it.
Yeah, it's so realistic. It's so in character too. I really admire when people are in character, and I like that you're exploring Molly's backstory and the trauma.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Especially since all this big shit is happening around her
Yeah.
at the same time.
It's been
So she has to
3
like, roll
days
with
since
the
I've been
punches,
back,
so-
folks. 3 fucking days.
It's been
Welcome
1 week
back.
since you looked at me. Sorry.
Never
about
apologize
that
for
movie.
greatness.
Yeah, awesome. So, God, a lot happened. Oh, Jesus, I'm gonna have to process that. Let's.
Yeah.
Oh, did you have a thought? Did somebody raise their hand? What was...
I did. It's me. I just
Yes.
want to give my collective stars to everyone here. Yasea for not only being you and actually having that very touching and tender moment in the clearing and actually putting aside your want to find more, even though you asked and were tasked by the Alpha to find more information and lore, and setting that aside to come save our asses.
Oh, hey, that was the person disobeying my orders this game.
I was kind of
Hey, there you go.
kind of thinking that in my mind when it happened. It
Played
worked
out
out.
perfectly.
That was I love high stakes decision making when it comes to campaigns like this. It's feel like it's what makes the campaign work. It's not about how scary you make the boss fights or whatever, or the encounters, even though you do make the boss fights very fucking scary here, obviously. But I think it's just much more about those moments where it's an important choice of like what's the best for like the mechanical get the mystery solved versus what's the thing my character's heart is calling to do right now. Like those are the moments that make the most fun for me in games like this, and I appreciate the way you kind of like push those, you tug on those heartstrings really well, I feel like.
Yeah.
My other star to Hollis, because this episode I know we're gonna have very interesting implications with Molly getting hurt in accident, which is a lot of, like Hollis feeling real bad, because again, Hollis and Molly's history particularly is still weird, still fresh and raw, but also you jumping in and you going for being more feral, like giving in to the wolf. Like, I think that's the first time you've made that role here.
Mm-hmm.
And even though your roles still weren't the greatest, you still rolled with the punches that it gave you today.
It was very fucking cool.
And I just want you to know that I thought it was really cool, and do not take whatever happens to Miriam to you personally as a player.
100%. You have fantastic player integrity too, which is awesome.
Thank you.
That's great.
Really.
Yeah, no, I notice these things for sure. So I really appreciate that, because it can be really hard. Like, be like, fuck, I rolled a 1 or whatever. Like, but I really do believe in that cool narrative opportunities, and I will never humiliate you. It will always just be a pivot of a moment. That's one thing I loathe about D&D is you roll a 1 and it encourages to describe incompetence, right? And so you have to like train yourself out of that mindset, because these are fucking adventurers. They're badasses actually. So like maybe they fumble once, but it's not going to be anyway.
Yeah, it's not like you trip on your cape and you fall down a flight of stairs.
Yeah, God,
You
no.
die of 1d4 fire damage.
You die.
That's the one thing that I do not like about mechanics, where people are like, oh yeah, like people roll a 1 and then they hit their other party member. No, it just doesn't freaking happen at all. Anyways, side note aside, Mike.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have done fantastic as our alpha, and you have done fantastic as and I'm calling back to what Foxy said before. You've done fantastic for taking a backseat when we have done all of these split the party moments or everything, but still being here as our alpha and our, again, as Foxy has said, our glue, our story glue, as it were. That to me proves how important Cal has been as an alpha to Greenforest. Even though Cal is having his self-doubts, spurred on by Molly's return, he's still pulling himself together and pulling us out of the fucking muck.
Well, I appreciate that a lot. I don't get to play this kind of part a lot. So I really, really appreciate the opportunity, and everything you guys are giving me. This could have been a game about Cal being an idiot because he's a good guy and everyone fighting him all the time, and I love the dynamic we've all developed together so very much because it's so different from that.
Cal is a complex character.
Yeah.
Also,
Just like-
you know,
You play
How
him when.
complex our pact is.
Yeah. Agreed.
Cal, you have an important coming up. There are some things only the alpha can do. And sometimes these things are saved for the end for specific interesting possibilities.
Ooh. I don't know if I should be worried now.
Yes.
But yes, yeah. Also, fantastic table manners. I wish everybody would just be good like this. It's great. Everybody who's watching, have good table integrity and manners. Shit goes silk when it works. All right, my dears. It is time. Let's hop through what is probably might be your final path, depending. I'd love to start with Molly, actually. Molly, what are your heartbeats?
Distressful, vital, and drowning.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. Which of these do you think you might have played to tonight? One of them is flying out at me.
I mean, gosh, distressful has been a consistent theme. And I don't know if that's the one that's flying out at you, but I could also argue for drowning. Vital, not as much. Like, she did point out, like, oh, the mud's dry, and I did ask that question, and, like, the ATVs, but, like, that didn't really help us not get immediately jumped by formerly Ezra. So,
The
I'm
artist
going for
formerly known
distressful
as-
or drowning.
I just do that to see Foxy facepalm. You know what I was thinking? Just to throw it out, not even in a facilitator role, so to speak, just very informally. I was thinking of drowning because of what Kellen said about the way trauma presented for her. Like, that feeling of when she was like, duck for cover, I've got the locket, assessing what's going on. Like, that's like, not just because it was raining and I had that image in my head so strongly, but like, that's an overwhelming position to be in. And it was asking a lot of you. And even when you were role playing Molly, like, you could tell it was asking a lot of her to, like, in that moment, make a decision. So that's why drowning popped into my head.
I would agree wholeheartedly, and since Molly has been human this entire time, I mark my
Hell
last
yeah.
and final human path.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Are you
Yeah.
gonna take another move with that, or are you gonna up a stat?
I think I'm going to take another move, and the last move I have to take is Heart Grows Fonder. So when I dominate a pack make by leveraging my relationship, I can choose to roll my ties against them instead of teeth if it is higher.
I love it. There's one other thing. I've been remiss in mentioning this properly more. In fact, if I could rewind, I would have. But there's something cool is you can actually take moves from other sheets, just not the alpha. So if I know it's on me. I might have mentioned it briefly once, but I really need to be mentioning it before.
Hey,
so
it's okay. We are a very limited short time, and we're running on some limited back time here too. So I mean, I'm fine. I can always retcon it later, and we can just adjust
yes,
the retcon.
feel free. Yeah, you can scroll through the Miro and see if there are things that you would be in character to take from other playbooks, and then just message me on our Discord. All that goes for all of you, by the way. All right, zooming along. Is that okay? Is that okay, Rainy?
Yep.
Shall I move forward? Okay.
Go ahead.
Mikey.
Hello.
Mikey, what are your heartbeats, and did you play to any of them?
Controlled, steady, and protective. And I think, steady really applies to not appearing in the episode. No, I'm just kidding. No.
I'm gonna die of guilt.
No, don't. Yeah, I think protective honestly is the one for this episode because I was watching over everybody else when I got jumped. So
Yep.
That makes the most sense to
Absolutely.
me. I was 50-50 between wolf and human path. Can I fill in human so I can get cool. I'm gonna, instead of taking a new move, I'm actually gonna get +1 to teeth because I think that's gonna be necessary very soon.
Ooh, nice.
Beautiful. All right. Percy, what move will I take? No, just kidding. Okay, zooming along.
How dare you?
Percy has so many moves. All right, Kellen, what are Holly's, please?
Comforting, persuasive, and calculating.
Did you play to any of those today?
I don't know. I feel like
It's okay if you didn't.
I can't really, like, the only thing I can kind of think is, like, calculating or comforting, since they kind of did embrace the wolf form and how, like, Foxy was talking about Isaiah.
Yeah.
See?
I think
Yeah.
I'd
So
rep for that.
that would be my only argument.
I'd vouch for
Yeah.
that.
Sure.
No question.
I'd vouch for it. I
Yep.
was gonna say calculating too, because you were calculating the situation with us earlier with the footprints, with casing the Spine Mountain place. Like,
Mhm.
that was pretty darn calculating.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have at it. Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, moving along. Last but not least, Foxy, what are your heart, please?
My heartbeats are experienced, scarred, and ending. And I can't particularly say that I really played to any of them, save maybe scarred with not being afraid to get a little roughed up while tearing this thing apart, but that's probably the best one I could argue for, so I'm willing to hear a no on that one, honestly.
I have a question for all of you. This is a new question. Because our characters have hit some intense development, I'd like you all, you don't have to do it right now, and in fact, we should probably wrap soon, but before we have our next game, please go through the heartbeat and update them. And if there are any, so what you can do is scratch out whichever one feels like your character has grown out of, if they have, and highlight a feels relevant. So you can do that with just one or two, or just one, or if you think that you haven't, that's fine too, but like, yeah.
I think mine, I have an idea for one of mine that's probably going to shift, and I think I already know what it is, and I think it's ultimately going to resolve around the answer of what happens with Miriam. I think it's going to be the ultimate answer that determines whether my heartbeat shifts, but I can see one that I think makes sense.
You want to tell her, or do you want to keep it in your pocket?
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. Like, she's either really, really, really fucked up or dead, and it's certainly either one's either likely. I think Isaiah could easily drop scarred as a resolution he has and move more towards, like, defeated or disillusioned.
Oh.
That's so sad. Jesus Christ.
Ouch.
I have feelings I have to feel. I'm glad we have
It's
2 weeks to
amazing.
wait. This is going to hurt a lot.
It sure is.
Yep.
And you didn't even get to talk. And she was mad at you.
Yeah, it's I'm
Don't you feel
gonna cry
bad?
next episode, Al.
It's really sad and bad of you.
So like when I'm like open faced sobbing in post call next week, no, it's your fault. You did it.
Oh, well, the bleed is strong in this particular role-playing game. But yeah, go ahead, everybody, check out your heartbeats. Update them as is appropriate to your character development. It's also okay if nothing feels like it's changed. But what am I forgetting? I don't think I'm forgetting anything. I think that was just about any last comments, questions. If you have any things you want to focus on for next time, just message me on Discord. But aside from that,
How do we do a group hug on a virtual game? We need to figure that
you
out.
towards the camera.
We need to, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you agree?
Oh well, we'll figure it out then.
That is
There you
true.
go.
Water
All
and
right,
ours.
everybody. Thank you all, and thanks for everybody who watched. I hope you have a gorgeous night. Check out the moon, and we will see you next time. Oh, outros? Quick outros? Very quick outros?
If you want, I
Super
mean, we can kind of like wrap them up. We can skip them if you want. I think that's fine. You know, they know where to find us on the
Okay,
internet.
how
so
about
it's
names
just-
and socials, and we fly through it, if that's okay?
Sure.
Or at least
That's
I
fine.
should, and then you
Yeah.
guys can.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's fine.
my name is Al Lukert. I'm a sci-fi fantasy illustrator. I will post a link to my art, and yeah, that's the gist of me. Next. So that would be Kellen.
Oh, sorry. Hello again. Kellen, also known as Sonar Fade. You can find me on pretty much any socials with that title, and Sonar Fade Art on Twitch.
Ooh.
Well, Foxy, who are you?
Hi friends, I'm Young Foxy, aka Big Foxy, also known as your favorite Fox Play Finest. I'm on the internet at Young Foxy. It's YUNGFOXXII. The next place you will see me most likely is on this Wednesday for the return of Arc 3 of Stardust Ghosts. Do not miss it. It will be incredible. That's all I have to say. Good night, everybody.
Gorgeous. Rainy-licious.
Hi, my name is Rainy, also known as Rainy Keys or at Rain Keys if you're looking on the Dead Bird website. You've caught me here, and you can always catch me here. That's about it.
Lovely, thank you. Mikey?
Hi, my name's Mikey Fate. I'm a vengeance god most places, but you can find me on Instagram at Broken Infinity Films. I have 3 podcasts. The one you should listen to right now is the next Monday-ish. We're going to be dropping the latest episode of the Ace of Geeks podcast, where I will be probably ranting about Rebel Moon for like an hour and a half, and it's going to be great. And also, please check out the League of Swords. We have a new show coming up March 9th in Los Angeles, in Burbank. So if you like swords and pro wrestling and other fun stuff like that, that's where you want to go.
Eat.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
All right, thank you, everybody. Good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.